Red Riding Hood. Once upon a time, in a quaint village, nestled amidst towering trees and rolling hills, there lived a young girl named Little Red Riding Hood. She was known far and wide for her vibrant red cloak, which she wore everywhere, earning her the affectionate nickname Red Riding Hood. One sunny morning, Red Riding Hood's mother called her into the kitchen.
Red, your grandmother isn't feeling well. She lives on the other side of the forest. Would you be a dear and take her this basket of goodies? It will surely make her feel better.
Red Riding Hood happily agreed, taking the basket filled with freshly baked bread, cheese, and a bottle of sweet wine, and set off on the familiar path through the woods. As Red Riding Hood strolled along, she sang a merry tune, enjoying the chirping of birds and the rustling of leaves. Unbeknownst to her, a sly wolf had been lurking in the shadows, spying on her every move. "Good morning, Little Red Riding Hood," the wolf greeted her, his voice smooth as honey. "Good morning, Mr. Wolf," Red Riding Hood replied politely, unaware of the danger lurking behind his friendly demeanor. "Where are you off to today?" the wolf inquired, his eyes glinting with mischief. "Why don't you pick some flowers for your grandmother along the way?" he suggested. "It will surely brighten her spirits." Red Riding Hood thought this was a splendid idea, and skipped off the path to gather a bouquet of wildflowers, completely unaware of the wolf's ulterior motives. Meanwhile, the crafty wolf dashed ahead, taking a shortcut to the grandmother's cottage. He knocked on the door, mimicking Red Riding Hood's voice. "Grandmother, it's me, Little Red Riding Hood. I've brought you some goodies." The unsuspecting grandmother, who was hard of hearing, shouted from her bed, "Come in, dear." The wolf entered the cottage, with a swift motion, devoured the poor grandmother whole, taking her place in the bed and pulling the covers up to his chin. Red Riding Hood arrived at the cottage, her arms laden with flowers. She knocked on the door and called out, "Grandmother, it's me, Little Red Riding Hood. I've brought you some treats." "Oh, grandmother, what big ears you have," she exclaimed. "All the better to hear you with, my dear," the wolf replied, trying to suppress a smirk. "And grandmother, what big eyes you have," Red Riding Hood continued. "All the better to see you with, my dear," the wolf replied.
"But grandmother, what big teeth you have," Red Riding Hood cried, now realizing the truth. "All the better to eat you with," the wolf snarled, leaping out of bed with jaws wide open. With a quick wit and nimble feet, she dashed out of the cottage and into the forest, the wolf hot on her heels. A group of woodcutters working nearby heard Red Riding Hood's cries for help. With their axes in hand, they rushed to her aid, chasing the wolf away into the depths of the forest. Safe at last, she returned to the cottage to find the grandmother unharmed, albeit a bit shaken. From that day forward, Red Riding Hood never strayed from the path again, and the villagers rejoiced in her bravery and quick thinking.